The final season of Stranger Things didn't just close the Upside Down, it shattered records behind the scenes. We're talking about a production so massive they used over 35,000 pounds of styrofoam, a finale script that wasn't finished when they started filming it, and cast members who literally fell asleep on set. The Duffer Brothers kept major secrets from their own actors, and one actor's only previous credit was a furniture store commercial. Here are 20 fun and surprising facts about Stranger Things Season 5. Fact 1. Here's something that would give most producers a heart attack. Season 5 began production without a completed finale script, and we're not talking about minor tweaks. Entire scenes from episode 8 were being shot before the script was even locked. Production assistant Montana Maniscalco didn't sugarcoat it, saying they were literally shooting the finale episode while not fully knowing what was going on. The Duffer Brothers were under immense pressure from both the production team and Netflix to finish the script. Matt Duffer admitted it was the most difficult writing circumstances they'd ever faced, with constant pressure to make sure the script was perfect while also dealing with tight deadlines. They finally completed the script on the Wednesday before the final table read, which was held that Sunday, September 8th, 2024. The cast had been on edge for an entire year, waiting to see how their characters' stories would end. Finn Wolfhard, who plays Mike Wheeler, told cameras it was absolute torture waiting all that time. The result? A 2-hour-plus finale that took longer to write than any other episode in the series. Talk about working under pressure and delivering under the wire. Fact 2. When you're creating the Upside Down in multiple dimensions, apparently you need a small mountain of styrofoam. Season 5 used more than 35,000 pounds of heavy-duty sculpting styrofoam just to build some of the sets. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the weight of 3 full-grown African elephants. The production design team carved, shaped, and molded all that foam into the twisted, nightmarish landscapes we see on screen. But here's the responsible part. After filming wrapped, all of that styrofoam was recycled. The set designers didn't stop there, though. They also used nearly 28 miles of pool noodles and over 80 miles of rope to create the physical set pieces for the upside down sequences. Those creepy vines and twisting tendrils covering everything, a huge portion of them were practical effects made from everyday materials, then enhanced with digital effects in post-production. The Squawk set, the radio station featured in episode 5, became a favorite among the art department and the Duffers themselves. They considered its design, color palette, and level of detail to embody the heart of the Stranger Things aesthetic perfectly. It's wild to think that so much of what looks like CGI magic is actually just really clever use of pool supplies and foam. Fact 3. In one of the sweetest and most personal touches of the final season, the Duffer Brothers cast their actual high school drama teacher in the show. Hope Hines Love plays Miss Harris, a teacher at Hawkins Elementary, and she wasn't just any teacher to Matt and Ross, she was the person who inspired their passion for filmmaking. According to sources, even when the Duffer Brothers weren't exactly model students, she believed in their creative potential and encouraged them to pursue their dreams in the entertainment industry. Fast forward to 2024, and they're directing one of the biggest shows on Netflix, giving their former teacher a role in the finale season. In the show, Robin even mentions that all the kids had Miss Harris as a teacher at some point, asking Will if he did a mandala in her class in 5th grade. It's a small detail, but it adds authenticity to Hawkins as a real small town where everyone knows everyone, and teachers stay for decades. The casting choice is pure full circle magic, from being taught by her in their formative years to putting her in their globally successful series. It's the kind of heartwarming detail that reminds you the Duffer Brothers never forgot where they came from or who helped them get there. Fact 4. Noah Schnapp's powerful speech in episode 7 wasn't just emotionally draining for his character, it was physically exhausting for the actor. The scene took a grueling 12-hour day to film, with Schnapp noting that the entire cast was watching, which added enormous pressure to an already intense moment. The Duffer Brothers revealed in the documentary that this speech was the most difficult and most rewritten scene of the entire season. They kept going back to it, tweaking dialogue, adjusting the emotion, trying to get it absolutely perfect for the emotional impact they wanted. Why? Because this moment was series-defining. It needed to land just right for the finale to work. Here's the magical part. Despite all the takes, all the adjustments, and all the pressure, Noah Schnapp's first close-up take is largely what made the final cut. That raw, honest, emotionally spent performance captured in that first close-up was exactly what they needed. Sometimes the first instinct is the right one. When Will draws upon his happiest memories before unlocking his new abilities, fans noticed something special. They're the exact same memories that Joyce, Jonathan and Mike used to try to connect with possessed Will back in Season 2. It's a full circle moment that rewards longtime viewers who've been paying attention. Fact 5.
Don't thank me yet. We successfully trilaterated.
Here's a coincidence that feels like destiny. The school used for filming all 5 seasons of Stranger Things was once Stockbridge High School in Georgia, the exact same school that Randy Havens, who plays Mr. Clark, actually attended as a student decades ago. Imagine going back to your old high school decades later, but instead of attending a reunion, you're playing a beloved science teacher in one of the biggest shows on the planet. For Havens, walking those same hallways must have been surreal. Mr. Clark has been a fan favorite character since Season 1, always ready with a scientific explanation for the impossible. His patient, enthusiastic teaching style has helped the kids understand everything from sensory deprivation tanks to interdimensional gates. The fact that Havens is literally teaching in his old school adds an extra layer of authenticity to his performance. In Season 5, Mr. Clark delivers a crucial lesson on wormhole theory that becomes essential to understanding the Upside Down's true nature. The show's location scouts had no idea about this connection when they chose Stockbridge High. It was pure luck. But it's these kinds of small, meaningful details that make Stranger Things feel so grounded despite all the supernatural chaos happening around every corner. Fact 6. One of the most dramatic behind-the-scenes revelations from the documentary involves the Duffer Brothers themselves. They fundamentally disagreed about whether Eleven should live or die. The documentary shows footage from the writer's room where Matt and Ross openly debate Eleven's fate in what looks like a genuinely tense discussion. Matt felt strongly that there was no way for the story to finish with Eleven alive. Her powers represented a kind of magic that couldn't remain if the other characters were to truly move on with their lives. Ross disagreed, believing Eleven deserved to survive after everything she'd been through across 5 seasons. This wasn't a minor disagreement, it shaped the entire finale's direction. The tension in those writers' room scenes is palpable. They're not just discussing plot mechanics, they're arguing about the heart and soul of their show and what message they want to send. According to sources, the Duffers spent more time than ever in the writers' room for Season 5, trying to meet sky-high expectations while still finding ways to surprise the audience. The end result? An oddly ambiguous finale that lets viewers interpret Eleven's ultimate fate for themselves. Some fans believe she sacrificed herself, others think she found a way to survive. The Duffers essentially split the difference, creating a choose-your-own interpretation ending that reflects their own creative disagreement. Fact 8. Method acting takes many forms, and for Sadie Sink, it meant literally falling asleep on set while filming Max's coma scenes. Max's coma sequences required long periods of complete stillness, while cameras captured various angles, and other actors performed around her motionless body. Sink revealed in interviews that she actually nodded off a couple of times during filming. She joked about having the easy job, just lying there perfectly still, while everyone else had to hit their marks, deliver emotional lines, and show intense emotion. Meanwhile, she got to take an on-set nap, but there's actually some real skill involved in remaining that motionless for extended periods. Most people fidget, breathe too obviously, or unconsciously shift position. Sink had to train herself to stay completely still even while conscious, making sleep almost a welcome relief. The crew and other actors were moving around her, adjusting lights, resetting between takes, and she just had to maintain that peaceful, comatose expression without reacting. In Volume 2, Max's journey becomes crucial to the plot as she finally escapes Vecna's mind and returns to her body after being in a coma for 2 years following Vecna's brutal attack in Season 4. So while Sink might have caught a few real naps during filming, Max's awakening becomes one of the season's most powerful and emotional moments. Fact 8.
45 of my paces from the front entrance.
Good job. Now round up.
Hollywood loves a good underdog story, and Jake Connolly's casting is exactly that kind of tale. The actor who plays Derek Turnbow had never appeared in any other TV shows or feature films before landing a role in the final season of one of Netflix's biggest series. His only acting credit prior to Stranger Things? A furniture store commercial in Chicago. That's it. No drama school showcase, no indie films, no gradual build-up through small roles, just a local commercial promoting couches, and then boom, Stranger Things, Season 5. The Duffer Brothers found him through unconventional means and clearly saw something special in his audition. It's not entirely clear what Derek's full role entails. The Duffers kept many Season 5 details under wraps, but being cast in such a massive production as your first real acting job must be simultaneously thrilling and absolutely terrifying. Imagine going from promoting furniture to working alongside Winona Ryder and David Harbour on one of the most watched shows in the world. The learning curve must have been incredibly intense, chance, but this kind of casting choice is very on-brand for Stranger Things. The show has always mixed experienced actors with fresh talent, and some of the biggest breakout stars, like Millie Bobby Brown and Gaten Matarazzo, were relatively unknown before the show launched their careers. Connolly's story proves that sometimes the right look and raw talent matter more than a lengthy resume. Fact 9.
I don't know where she is.
Here's an Easter egg you can actually interact with right now. In episode 1, The Crawl, the camera pans across a missing persons poster showing Eleven's face as Jane Hopper. There's a phone number on the flyer to call with information about her whereabouts. That number is real, and if you call it, you'll hear a recorded message from the Hawkins Police Department. The message says, "Thank you for contacting the Hawkins Police Department. Due to the recent 7.4 magnitude earthquake, Hawkins is currently under lockdown to ensure the safety of our residents. The Hawkins Emergency Task Force is working closely with the Hawkins Police Department to locate missing persons, of which Jane Hopper is a priority. We urge you, as a responsible member of Hawkins, to help us locate her." It's a small detail that most viewers might not even notice if they're not paying close attention, but for fans who pause the show and actually dial the number, it's a delightful bit of immersion that makes the world feel more real. The Duffers and the marketing team have always understood the value of these interactive elements throughout the show's run. It makes the world of Hawkins feel more real, more lived in, like it actually exists somewhere. The phone number connects to a real marketing campaign. There was even a Doritos promotion featuring a different number, 1-855 for Hawkins, that functioned as a teaser for an in-universe telethon for Hawkins relief efforts. Fact 10.
He knows where we are.
The Duffer Brothers have a long-standing policy of keeping major plot twists secret from the cast until absolutely necessary, but with Noah Schnapp, they took extra precautions. The creators deliberately kept Schnapp in the dark about a major plot twist involving Will Byers in Season 5 specifically to prevent leaks before the season aired. Schnapp found out about Will's new powers and his deeper connection to Vecna when he finally read the script, and his reaction was apparently a scream heard across the production office. Later, in interviews, he joked that the Duffers never trust me with any of the information. It's said with humor, but there's probably some real truth there. Schnapp is very active on social media and does a lot of fan interaction online, which makes him a potential leak risk for major spoilers. The Duffers simply couldn't take chances with the final season's biggest reveals getting out early. This policy isn't personal. They keep secrets from most of the cast as standard practice. In fact, by the time of the final table read in September 2024, the actors still hadn't read the script for the finale because the Duffers generally don't share their work until the last possible moment. It must be incredibly frustrating for actors trying to understand their character arcs and where they're headed, but it also means their reactions during table reads are genuine and deeply emotional. When Will's sorcerer powers are revealed in episode 4, Schnapp's performance captures real surprise and discovery because he didn't know it was coming for most of production. Fact 11. Episode 4, Sorcerer, features one of the season's most jaw-dropping moments, Vecna's terrifying entrance as he emerges from a gate and systematically dismantles a group of armed soldiers with brutal efficiency. The Duffer Brothers revealed that this scene was directly inspired by the chilling hallway massacre featuring Darth Vader in Rogue One, a Star Wars story from 2016. Ross Duffer explained they wanted Vecna's moment to feel like a calm, unstoppable force stepping out of the shadows and destroying trained soldiers with ease, just like Vader did. Like Vader igniting his lightsaber in that darkened hallway, Vecna's appearance needed to communicate overwhelming power and inevitable doom for anyone standing in his way. The scene works brilliantly because of its deliberate pacing. It's not frantic or chaotic. Vecna moves deliberately, almost casually, while the soldiers' bullets and weapons prove completely useless against him. Jamie Campbell Bower's physical performance as Vecna captures that same methodical menace that makes iconic villains so memorable. The practical effects and makeup for Vecna in Season 5 took significant time to perfect, according to the documentary. The design evolved from Season 4, requiring the makeup department to spend hours each day applying intricate prosthetics and creating that grotesque, decaying appearance. The Darth Vader comparison is incredibly apt. Both characters are fallen heroes transformed into nightmarish villains, and both have that iconic, terrifying presence that makes them unforgettable antagonists in their respective universes. Fact
Jonathan.
12.
You see this?
Hawkins' lab has been a crucial location since Season 1, and over the course of 5 seasons, the set design expanded dramatically to include everything from basement laboratories to rooftop scenes, including key spaces like the Rainbow Room and the Boiler Room that have become iconic. But here's the wild part. All those scenes were filmed in a former psychiatric hospital owned by Emory University in Atlanta, and the building was scheduled to be demolished in 2023. The wrecking crews were literally ready to tear it down and clear the property. Then the 2023 Writers Guild of America strike happened, followed by the SAG-AFTRA actors strike. Production on Stranger Things Season 5 was delayed for months, pushing the filming schedule well into 2024. That delay inadvertently saved the building from demolition. The property owners couldn't tear it down, while there was still a chance filming might eventually resume, so the building sat empty, waiting in limbo. When the strikes finally ended and production started up again, that psychiatric hospital got an unexpected reprieve from the wrecking ball. Without those labor disputes causing delays, one of Stranger Things' most iconic locations would have been nothing but rubble and dust. The old hospital, with its long institutional corridors, stark architecture, and naturally eerie atmosphere, proved completely irreplaceable for creating Hawkins' lab's oppressive, sterile environment. Sometimes chaos and delays work out for the best in unexpected ways. Fact 13.
Name is
Dr. K.
Most known for playing Sarah Connor in the Terminator films, Linda Hamilton joined Stranger Things Season 5 as Dr. K, and she didn't hold back when describing the grueling experience. In interviews, Hamilton revealed they took a full year to shoot just 8 episodes, calling it an incredibly long haul. For context, most television shows film an 8-episode season in 3 to 4 months at most. Stranger Things Season 5 took 3 times longer than typical productions. Why the massive difference? Hamilton explained that every single day of filming featured huge scenes with elaborate stunts, complex special effects, extensive character work, and massive production scale unlike anything she'd experienced. She remembered arriving on set for what she assumed would be a partial shoot, just capturing a few key moments with green screen work to be completed later. Instead, she discovered that the ambition and scope of every single scene was through the roof. The production wasn't cutting corners or planning to fix things in post-production with CGI. They were committing to practical effects, full elaborate stunts, and complete performances every single day of filming. Hamilton, who's no stranger to intense action filmmaking after the Terminator franchise, seemed genuinely impressed by the relentless pace and incredibly high-quality standards. The Duffers and producer Sean Levy wanted Season 5 to feel truly cinematic, designing the volumes as mega-movies with each batch of episodes building to its own massive climax. That kind of ambitious vision requires substantial time, enormous resources, and incredible endurance from everyone involved in the production. Fact 14. The scale of Stranger Things. Season 5's production is genuinely mind-boggling when you break down the numbers. Filming took 237 days. That's almost 8 months of continuous shooting. The production required 6,000 different setups, meaning cameras, lights, and equipment had to be repositioned thousands of times. But here's the really insane part. The main unit alone captured 630 hours of footage, which occupied a petabyte of data. For those unfamiliar with data storage, a petabyte is 1,000 terabytes. To put that in perspective, if you tried to store that much data in 1987, when Season 5 takes place, you'd need a warehouse full of equipment. An assistant director noted that most films are about half the size of a single Stranger Things episode in terms of production scale. And remember, this season has 8 episodes. The difference? Movies typically get months of pre-production time. Stranger Things episodes come together with far less prep, requiring hundreds of department heads, set decorators, production designers, sculptors, painters, costumers, hair and makeup teams, camera operators, stunt coordinators, and VFX artists to work in perfect synchronization. It's basically like shooting 8 movies back to back with overlapping schedules. The logistics alone are staggering. Fact 15. When Eleven uses her psychic powers to enter the Black Void, that endless dark space where she can search for people across vast distances, it looks like an infinite expanse stretching in all directions forever. The visual effect is absolutely stunning and creates a powerful sense of limitless possibility and isolation, but the reality behind the scenes is hilariously small and practical. Eleven's Black Void was created using nothing more than a shallow, 2-inch deep reflecting pool surrounded by black surfaces. That's it. The entire setup setup is actually smaller than a standard basketball court. The magic happens entirely through careful lighting, precise camera angles, and the reflection in that thin layer of water creating the convincing illusion of infinite depth. Millie Bobby Brown would stand or kneel in this relatively small space, while cameras captured her from very specific angles that made it look vast and endless. It's a perfect example of practical filmmaking, trickery, using simple, inexpensive materials, and clever techniques to create something that looks expensive and impossible. The black void has been a recurring visual element since season 1, representing Eleven's mental landscape, and knowing it's just a shallow puddle with good lighting makes you appreciate the craftsmanship even more. The production design team deserves enormous credit for maintaining this powerful illusion across 5 full seasons without ever breaking the spell or revealing the trick. Most viewers would never guess in a million years that Eleven's infinite psychic mindscape is actually one of the smallest and simplest sets in the entire production. Fact 16. Frank Darabont, the legendary director behind The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile, was initially hired to direct an episode of Season 5, which was huge news because Darabont had been semi-retired from television directing for years. But here's where things get complicated. After the movie Predator, Badlands got greenlit in 2025, Dan Trachtenberg, who was originally scheduled to direct an episode, became unavailable due to scheduling conflicts. The production scrambled to find a replacement director who could match the incredibly high vision and quality standards required for the final season. Enter Frank Darabont. According to the documentary, the Duffer Brothers simply sent him an email expressing their deep admiration for his work and their dream of collaborating, and somehow that cold email actually worked. Darabont agreed to step in, and he brought his absolute A-game to the production. During Holly and Max's harrowing journey through Vecna's nightmarish mindscape, Darabont carefully mapped out a sophisticated visual reference to Citizen Kane, one of cinema's most influential and studied films. That kind of artistic depth and film literacy is exactly what the Duffers wanted for their finale season. Having someone of Darabont's incredible caliber and reputation return too, television directing specifically for Stranger Things is a powerful testament to the show's massive cultural importance and creative reputation in the industry. The Duffers have always been passionate film nerds at heart, and getting Darabont involved must have felt like a genuine dream come true. Fact 17. When Joyce Byers, played by Winona Ryder, finally swings an axe to kill Vecna in the climactic battle sequence, something completely unexpected happened on set that perfectly captured the moment. The cast and crew broke into an impromptu, spontaneous dance party. After years of intense filming, months of pandemic-related delays, labor strikes shutting down production, endless script challenges, and the heavy emotional weight of ending such a beloved series, that single moment of finally defeating the main villain felt like a massive release valve. The documentary captures this joyful celebration, showing the genuine joy and relief on everyone's faces. It wasn't a planned celebration or something staged for the cameras, just a spontaneous eruption of pure happiness that the difficult scene was finally done and done well. Filming Vecna's dramatic death required incredibly complex choreography, elaborate practical effects, Jamie Campbell Bower's total commitment to wearing the grotesque prosthetics for hours, and Winona Ryder's intense emotional performance all coming together perfectly in sync. When they finally got the perfect take after numerous attempts, all the tension that had been building throughout the entire production just evaporated instantly. The dance party might seem silly or unprofessional to outsiders watching, but for people who've spent literal years building this world and forming these deep relationships, it was genuinely cathartic and meaningful. These spontaneous moments of pure joy and celebration between intense takes are what the cast and crew will remember and cherish long after the show ends and everyone moves on to new projects. Fact 18.
We thought the shirt was bad.
In Episode 5, Shock Jock, Lucas is strategizing with the group about their plan and confidently declares that his approach is faster, bolder, better. If those 3 specific words sound oddly familiar to fans, there's a very good reason. That's the exact advertising slogan for New Coke, the infamous beverage reformulation failure from 1985. This isn't just a random period-appropriate reference thrown in for nostalgia, it's a brilliant callback to Season 3, where Lucas was notably the only one of the kids who actually liked the controversial New Coke flavor. flavor. While everyone else in Hawkins complained loudly about the reformulated taste, Lucas defended it and genuinely enjoyed drinking it. The writers remembered this incredibly tiny character detail and brought it back 3 full years later in a way that feels completely organic and true to Lucas's established personality. He's not consciously quoting an advertising slogan in the scene. It's just naturally become part of his everyday vocabulary because he genuinely liked the product and internalized the marketing. This is the kind of deep character consistency and attention to detail that makes Stranger Things truly special and rewarding for longtime fans. Most shows wouldn't bother tracking such a minor character preference across multiple seasons and years of production, but the Duffers and their talented writers' room pay careful attention to absolutely everything. It rewards dedicated fans who remember these small moments while still working naturally for newer viewers who just hear Lucas being confident about his plan. The show consistently respects its audience's memory and long-term investment in these characters. Fact 19. After the absolutely catastrophic events of Season 4, which left Hawkins physically scarred and the gate to the Upside Down torn wide open, subtle security cameras were strategically added in various locations like the high school and the hospital for Season 5. Most viewers probably didn't consciously notice them during their first watch, but that's exactly the point of good environmental storytelling. These cameras weren't added for specific plot reasons or to drive particular scenes. They're pure environmental storytelling that subtly hints at the increased military surveillance and lingering trauma affecting the entire town. The town is under strict military quarantine in Season 5, with the government intensely hunting for 11 and monitoring all activity. Those security cameras physically reflect the tragic loss of innocence and freedom that Hawkins has suffered over the course of 5 seasons. The small town that felt safe, nostalgic, and welcoming in Season 1 has gradually transformed into essentially a police state by Season 5. Production designer Chris Trucchio and his talented team thought very carefully about how a military occupation would realistically change the physical environment and daily life. It's not just soldiers standing on street corners, it's cameras everywhere, security checkpoints, new measures that fundamentally change how people move through previously familiar spaces. These details might seem minor or easy to miss, but they contribute enormously to the oppressive, claustrophobic atmosphere of the final season. When Mike, Lucas, and Robin orchestrate their daring escape in Episode 4, those previously background security systems suddenly become very real obstacles they have to overcome. Fact 20. When Will finally unlocks his powerful sorcerer abilities in Episode 4 by drawing upon his happiest childhood memories, eagle-eyed fans immediately recognized something incredibly special. Those specific memories are exactly the same ones that Joyce, Jonathan, and Mike desperately used back in Season 2, Episode 8, The Mind Flayer, when they were trying to reach Will while he was possessed and lost. We see the exact same treasured moments: building castle byres together in the backyard, playing Atari, games with Jonathan, riding bikes carefree with his best friends. It's a beautiful, deeply emotional, full-circle moment that genuinely rewards viewers who've stuck with the show faithfully for all 5 seasons and remember these details. In Season 2, those precious memories were tools that others used to try to bring Will back from the overwhelming darkness consuming him. In Season 5, Will consciously uses those same powerful memories himself to embrace his unique power and connection to the hive mind entirely on his own terms. He's actively reclaiming his own story, his trauma, and his inner strength in a profound way. The parallel is both incredibly subtle and deeply profound, showing exactly how far Will has come as a character from the terrified, possessed boy we saw struggling years ago. Noah Schnapp's nuanced performance captures this tremendous growth perfectly through small details and emotional beats. The writers could have easily chosen completely new memories for this crucial, pivotal scene, but by deliberately echoing Season 2's moments, they powerfully emphasize continuity and genuine character growth. Will isn't running from his difficult past anymore, he's consciously using it as a source of strength and power. From 35,000 pounds of styrofoam to actors falling asleep on set, Stranger Things Season 5 was a production like no other. The Duffer Brothers filmed without a finished script, fought over Eleven's fate, and brought their real high school drama teacher into the show. They took a year to shoot 8 episodes, captured a petabyte of data, and saved a building from demolition purely by accident. Whether it's phone numbers you can actually call or Darth Vader-inspired entrances, the final season was packed with incredible stories both on and off screen. The Upside Down might be closed, but these behind-the-scenes secrets prove the magic was real all along.